Hey folks, I'm Nathan. I'm a senior at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, but I'll be graduating from college almost a year early. I made a video about why I'm doing that, which I'll link up here. And today I'm going to explain how you can do that, whether you're a current high school student, a high school graduate, or a current college student. There are things you can do to help yourself graduate early if you want to, so let's get right into those. We're going to start with advice for current high school students. So if you are a high school graduate or a current college student, skip ahead to the timestamp in the description and you'll get information that is applicable to you. So for high school students, the first thing and the biggest thing that you can do, and this especially is probably the most useful if you are not yet a current senior, is to take AP and IB classes. So for most people, junior and senior year is when they do that. Maybe your school lets you take 1 or 2 freshman or sophomore year, but anything that your school offers in terms of AP and IB that you're capable of, you should take. Not only do colleges want to see that you're challenging yourself in the context of your school, but you can also actually graduate early with AP credits. So I came into WashU with a semester's worth of AP credits, which is one of the reasons I'm able to graduate early, which is cool. As far as AP and IB credits go, and getting academic credit in college for those tests, your state schools are probably going to be your best bet, or other state schools in other states. Private universities are usually a little more conservative about taking AP and IB scores for credit. Some schools still will, like WashU took a semester's worth, or gave me a semester's worth of credits for my AP tests, which was awesome. But some other schools I know just like won't take AP tests at all, or will only accept 5s. I'm still not even super clear on exactly how WashU doles out AP or college credit for AP test scores. So anyway, it's very complicated. State schools are generally going to be more generous giving out college credit for AP or IB tests. And the next best thing you can do, which is very much related, is to pick colleges to apply to that are accepting generally of AP and IB credits. So this is your state universities usually, but also lots of private universities around the country. Just look them up on their website. They should have some information about AP credits. And if you can't find anything, reach out to the registrar or the dean of whatever academic division you would be in, or something like that. If you know that graduating early from college is a priority for you, and you are going to have a fair number of AP and IB tests under your belt that you received good scores on, that's like 3s, 4s, 5s, you should be looking at colleges that are most likely to accept those scores for credit. Sometimes state schools will take 3s, public universities, which is really good. Some private schools will only take 4s and 5s, some will only take 5s, some won't take anything at all. Like I've said, the variation between schools is insane, and in most cases you're going to have to look it up on a school-by-school basis. Just something to think about when you're picking colleges to apply to if you know that graduating college at least a semester early is a priority for you. One thing I see recommended a lot is for high school students to take like community college or local university courses in addition to the regular high school coursework or over the summer or something. I just want to provide a cautionary word there. A lot of colleges will not accept that credit, like that transfer credit. Especially if you were just a high school student taking a couple of classes at your local university or community college. Especially like the more kind of selective universities, as you get up into them, they are less and less likely to accept transfer credits like that. So public schools are, again, usually much better about this, about accepting transfer credit in addition to like giving out AP credit. Just generally like schools that are more generous with credits, you're gonna have better luck with this. But I would not take community college classes or local university classes that don't like actually add to your high school credit course load, with the assumption that those credits are going to be accepted at whatever college you go to. So I know some high schools have like dual enrollment with colleges, and you can take like college classes instead of high school classes. That's all well and good. Feel free to do that. You're not planning on getting college credit for that anyway. But if you are taking college classes while you are still in high school with the express purpose of getting college credit, I want to tell you to be careful with where you assume that's going to apply. Basically, you need to check institution by institution as to whether or not that credit is going to transfer over. Accepting AP or IB credits based on good scores on those tests is generally like a more ubiquitous / easier way to get college credit than like taking a community college class when you're still in high school and hoping that that credit will transfer. So maybe still an option, very case-by-case basis, less ubiquitous than accepting AP and IB scores, so just a cautionary word there. Okay, if you are a high school graduate about to head to college or you're a current college student, these are things that you can do to help yourself graduate early. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more challenging now that you're kind of already there, but there are still ways to do it. I didn't know that I wanted to graduate early until probably halfway through my freshman year of college. So there are still definitely things, even if you're further along than that, that you can do to accelerate your trajectory. So the first thing is going to be to take summer classes. So pretty much every college offers some kind of summer classes, whether they offer it or they have like some kind of exchange program with another university where you take courses there. Summer classes are a great way to get ahead on credits. So that's the other thing that I'm doing. So I came in with some AP credits at WashU, 1 semester's worth, and I'm taking another semester's worth of credits this summer, which is how I'm going to be able to graduate 2 full semesters early. So in most cases, you can take a semester's worth of college credits over the summer. That's going to be challenging. I had to get special approval to do that, but frankly, I don't feel that was really necessary. The workload was not insane. If you were taking multiple like physical science, difficult upper level STEM classes, for example, I'd say that's probably going to be really, really challenging. But like social sciences and humanities courses, even on an accelerated basis, are still pretty manageable if you're managing your time well and going to class and stuff like that. So that's doable for sure. I don't know about taking more than a semester's course load over the summer. I'd probably stick with a semester, but that's definitely one way to get ahead. Another thing you can do, and this applies if you are working a job or an internship, is to see if your college gives out academic credit for jobs and internships done over the summer. So a lot of schools will offer academic credit for unpaid internships. I have mixed feelings about unpaid internships. Not a lot of people can afford to do an unpaid internship because it assumes that you are paying all of your own expenses. I think that's not great, but we won't get into that. Anyway, regardless of whether or not your internship or your job over the summer is paid, you should reach out to your school, your career center, your dean, your academic advisor, whoever it is. You'd probably know better than me at your school who it would be, and you should see if there's any way for you to get academic credit for your job or your internship. You should do this as soon as you know that you have that job or that internship, or even as early as when you start applying, just to see what your options are. Even if your internship is paid, some schools will give you academic credit. You'll probably have to do some extra work, like writing stuff up or making a presentation or something like that. For example, the other intern at Arches National Park last summer when I worked there, her school gave her academic credit for her internship. She had to do some kind of extra work in terms of like writing stuff up and things like that, but it was a paid position, and she also got academic credit, which I did not get, so props to her. That's the way to do it. So anyway, reach out to your school, see if they offer credit for internships or jobs, paid or unpaid. And that's not just over the summer. That's if you have an internship during the school year as well. Definitely reach out to whoever it is at your school who'd be in charge of that kind of thing and see if there's any way for you to get credit. That's a great way to get ahead for work that you're already doing. Another thing that you can do, and this is probably pretty obvious, but you can take extra classes during the semester. So most schools, the average course load is like between 4 and 5 classes in a semester. At WashU, you need to be taking an average of 5 each semester to graduate on time. You can take 6 classes in a semester. However many classes is average for you, plus 1, you can do that. And if you do that for enough semesters, or you're combining that with like a little bit of AP credit or a little bit of summer class or whatever it may be, you can maybe put together an extra semester with that. That's obviously really challenging. I have taken an extra class twice, 2 of my semesters at WashU, and they were tough. You wouldn't think that 5 versus 6 classes makes a difference, or like 15 credit hours versus 17 or 18, but it does. It's hard. So just be prepared for that. You're probably going to have to tamp down on other important things in your life, like socializing or sleeping. I'd recommend sleeping over socializing, but personal preference. If you're going to do that, just make sure that it is realistic for you and that you know that you can do the work. It is good to challenge yourself, but it is not good to stretch yourself so thin that everything across the board gets weighed down as a result. So it's an option if you do that for 4 or 5 semesters, just taking an extra class each semester. That puts you a semester ahead, but definitely like keep your mental and physical health in mind. It's always better to graduate with sound mind in 4 years than be stressed out for 3.5, like really more stressed out than you need to be, and then graduate a semester early. So just keep an eye on yourself. It's an option, but don't stretch yourself so thin that everything suffers. Okay, and this is something that's not necessarily directly related to getting additional credits, but if your priority is graduating early, don't do a double major and don't pick up like 3 minors and a certificate program. I am graduating with 1 major and a minor that I obtained 100% by accident, purely because I took so many classes in the American Culture Studies program here out of interest that I got the minor. If you care more about graduating early than double majoring, then don't double major. Pick a single major, do what you need to do to meet the bare minimum requirements to graduate from your school, and just barrel ahead with those. Get those out of the way as soon as possible. This is just broad advice in general. You should be able to obtain a list or a schedule of exactly what you need to do to graduate. At WashU, it's distribution requirements. We have to take a bunch of classes in a few general fields, a couple math and science credits, a couple humanities credits, a couple social sciences credits, etc., etc. Knock those requirements out ASAP so that you are not floundering around with those at the start of your senior year and having enough credits to graduate early, but still having to take so many classes that you have to stick around for the whole year. That wouldn't be great. So as soon as possible, knock out every requirement that you can, get it done with. That leaves you a lot of flexibility. If you want to stick around all 4 years, that's fine. You may as well still get this stuff done so that you have more flexibility in your upperclassmen years, and if you change your mind, you can do that. I'm really lucky. I was pretty on top of taking care of my distribution requirements at WashU, especially during like my sophomore year. I was really on top of it, and that was before I was like dead set on graduating early, but it really helped me out because ultimately it's the reason that I could graduate almost a full year early, because if I'd still had to meet distribution requirements, it would have been really unlikely that I could have met them with summer classes. So I'm taking 5 electives this summer, and I just need the credits, and that's a really good position to be in. So as soon as you can knock out your requirements, do that. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope this helps. If you have any questions about your specific situation or just about graduating early in general, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, I appreciate your feedback in general as well. So any thoughts or feelings you have, feel free to share those. It's a weird time. Stay safe, wear a mask. And thanks for watching. Take care.